When turning a place of great importance into the largest art museum in the country, they had to suspend this room in mid-air. It is not a room, more like a hall, with high ceilings and imported marble columns from Siena. It hovered in the air, held by wires attached to cranes, while its surroundings converted and the foundation redone before it was placed in an old building with a new purpose. It sits empty and solemn when it is not involved in its new landlord's events. We are allowed in then, together with the ghost we carry of an image we remember but do not have a photo of. Our memories play tricks on us, and soon we forget about the sticker on our shirts and the art we have walked by. Hello, my name is Cheyenne Alexandria Phillips. I'm a writer and performer based in Singapore. I'm excited to be part of Art Plus Live, an Ekphrastice Series, which invites writers, playwrights, and poets to respond to works in the gallery. The piece I just read is called Suspended. It is about a significant room here in the National Gallery, Singapore, the City Hall chamber. Various important events in Singapore's history occurred in that room. I chose to open with this poem not because we will be exploring the works in the chamber itself, but because the exhibition we'll be looking at deals with the spatial temporal nature of the artworks and the buildings they were first showcased in. Today, I'll be taking you through Suddenly Turning Visible. This exhibition explores how artists and architects play important roles in shaping their future. It could be through creating a thought-provoking sculpture or building a common space for open discussion to occur. Suddenly Turning Visible follows the story of 3 art galleries in the Global South, namely the Alpha Gallery in Singapore, the Cultural Center of the Philippines, or CCP, and the Bhirasri Institute of Modern Art, or Bhima. It highlights how these cities, together with their architects and artists, started developing strong identities for themselves, exploring the different ways they decided to depict their perceptions of the world. Let's start with the Alpha Gallery in Singapore. The Alpha Gallery was in operation from 1971 to 1988. It was housed in the Singapore Conference Hall in Shenton Way, a building that still stands today. Lim Chong Kiat was the architect of the conference hall. He was also a strong supporter of the Alpha Gallery to the extent that many people believed he owned it. The Alpha Gallery became a space for writers, artists, politicians, and architects to share ideas and collaborate with each other. A key piece that was featured in the Alpha Gallery is Kusue Ho's Children of the Sun. I enjoy this piece because I believe it to embody the possibilities in a collaborative space. In many ways, it reminds me of a classroom. Everyone in the room is offered access to information, which I take to be this tree-like structure culminating in this bright white spot. Some would actively engage in discussion. Some would be more interested in talking to each other. Some would be distracted by other things. Some would want to sneak away, and some would be content observing and not participating. Take some time to consider which of these figures you resonate with most today while we continue our exploration together. I would like you to be open to collaborating with me and the other artists we will be learning about today. We move away from Singapore to talk about the only gallery that is still in operation today, the Cultural Center of the Philippines, or CCP, located in Manila. It was founded by then First Lady Imelda Romualdez Marcos to preserve, develop, and promote Filipino culture. One of CCP's curators, Raimundo R. Albano, coined the term "suddenly turning visible" when describing the transformation of Manila's urban landscape. One such transformation was the reclaiming of land in the Manila Bay area where CCP was built. As it was built on reclaimed land, the architect Leandro V. Locsin wanted the building to look as if it was floating on the horizon. CCP includes a reflective pool, and the outside was crusted with seashells that would add to this marine aesthetic. It reminds me of churches I visited while in Bohol a few years ago. These churches were made of coral stone and glued with egg wash, which were resources available at the time. The use of it in CCP speaks to the desire to be innovative with building materials, allowing the center to be a site-specific work of art. The next artwork is from CCP. It documents the times the art was made instead of the space. It is David Mandala's Kumbun. Kumbun is like a visual journal amplified. You can see Mandala attached newspaper clippings on mounting boards and annotated them. In this manner, Mandala documented social and economic inequality and even openly criticized the CCP and its relation to the local people. Kumbun reminds me of a piece that I co-created in 2017 for an exhibition called Prepositions. Prepositions explored Eurasian narratives, specifically the areas where many Eurasians once lived. It was displayed at Center 42 on Waterloo Street, which was once a Eurasian enclave. One of the exhibits was called Pre-Existing Conditions. It consisted of a wall of collage that was based on archival material. Using archival material, like in Kumbun, offers the audience a chance to review first-hand experience. It draws on real stories rather than unsupported interpretations. It brings audiences into the collaborative process, allowing them to not only comment on the facts, but also the artist's opinions of them. You now have become part of the conversation with the artist, whether you realize it or not. Consider the responses you have to these articles and your reactions to the artist's interpretation. Do you agree with them? Do you feel strongly for any piece? If you could ask the artist a question, what would it be? We come to the final gallery featured in Suddenly Turning Visible, the Bhirasri Institute of Modern Art, or Bhima in Bangkok. Designed by architect Mom Luang Triashuv Devakul, this building was longer than it was wide. Bhima sat in the middle of Bangkok's diplomatic enclave, surrounded by banks and agencies that eventually commissioned various exhibitions. What I love about this space is that it had a floor-to-ceiling glass facade along its length. So while you would enter from the width of the building, you would see a smallish, almost hole-in-the-wall space. But as you travel down the length, you realize that you have just entered a whole different world. I love this idea of changing spaces, of expecting one thing and seeing something else. I think the last work I've selected really captures this for me. It is Temple Interior by Pricha Tautong. On first glance, it may not strike you, but the more I look at it, the more I wonder what the space is, was, and could be. In many ways, it reminds me of a theatre stage. There is a light coming from above that casts this shape, highlighting a door or window of some sort. But if you move your eyes away from the light and look around, you notice that it's not entirely dark. In stage lighting between scenes, lighting designers sometimes include a dim blue wash over the stage to allow the actors to see where they are going during the transition. Having performed on stage, I appreciate this practical function. As an audience member, it signals me to expect something more. It suggests that what I am watching is a temporary suspension of the narrative to help set up for the next scene. This leads me back to the opening poem, Suspended, and a much bigger thought. What does it mean to catalog thoughts and discussions around a strong local identity here in a basement exhibition space that didn't even exist in the times the works of art were created? As visitors, do we suspend disbelief when we come to visit the art? Or are we setting the stage, waiting for the actors to set the scene and for the lights to come on? I would now like to invite you to take a closer look at Temple Interior by Pricha Tautong. To me, this artwork is a transition between scenes in a play. There isn't much action happening here. There are no people, there are barely any props or furniture. There's just the light, the setting, and nothing else. I would like you to take some time to think about what happened before or even after this suspended moment in time. Who could be in this space? What would they be doing? What does the space mean to them? And also, what time is it? I invite you now to write a poem, a short story, or even a short scene of what you could make visible in this space. Try limiting the number of words to 100. If you need an opening line, you can start with, "It is blank," and already blank. For me, this artwork reminds me of a moment of transitioning light while I was on a writing residency in Panama. Here is a poem of mine as an example. It is 7 a.m. and already the sun has kissed the sky. I look at it and know it is the same sun you see. It is sitting in the same spot in the sky for both of us, bridging the distance we have known for too long. This is a world I am not used to, where my morning is your morning, where my night is your night, where I am not in the future and you are not in the past. This is your dimension, and even though we are not sitting together just yet, I am already happy to be here. Please feel free to share your creations in the comment section for all of us to enjoy what you can see that we cannot just yet.
Hello, my name is Ma Swan Hu. I see multiple shades of grey in this painting, from the dark door and walls to the light, which is also rather grey instead of the white, which I kind of imagine the colour of light to be. It looks desolate too, with not a soul in sight. I imagine this to be a temple that is now no longer visited. And a temple is a place which gives one hope. But the dark greyness of it all and the bare walls make me wonder if hope can be achieved here. So I penned this poem that was based on these thoughts, but I could not end it in a pessimistic way, as I'm usually an optimistic person. So I had to give it a more optimistic finish. I have titled it Time Passes. So here goes. White walls turned grey. Inside, many have prayed. Time passes, leaving the shadows behind. I put on my glasses, reading the windows of mankind, of ties that I can find, of ties that bind. Oh, I see the light. What a delight! I search and lurch, my hands grasping for the divine, my breath gasping on the incline. But I am confined, but I am declined. Time passes, leaving me behind. But wait, I hasten my gait, out into the bright sunshine and into my cloud nine. I will not be left behind. I will not resign.
Hello, my name is Patrick Lee. I'm one of the docent volunteers with the National Gallery of Singapore. I was rather apprehensive when I was invited to write a poem reflecting the meaning of an art piece, as I've never done so before. However, with some assistance from my daughter Samantha, I created this poem titled Time and Space. The art piece is currently displayed at the Suddenly Turning Visible exhibition at the National Gallery, titled Temple Interior by Pritchard Tautong. Hope you enjoy my poem. I only appear as a space. There are many words that define me, but ultimately I'm here where refuge is sought. Before the war against diseases, there wasn't an empty corner to spare. They came, the young, the old, the desperate, the blessed, regardless of the time of day. It was probably dawn, but it really doesn't matter. She never brings the solace, the one I took in the company of others, because now in times of isolation, I'm nothing but bare. Still I wait for your return, for I have nothing else to offer but my space.
Hi, my name is Sharon Lim. I was most intrigued by Prichak Tao Tong's temple interior. It provides a void, a pause, a moment of silence, an opportunity to imagine and expect a change of scene in this play of life. Temple interior speaks volumes in this season, where most of us are experiencing a pause forced upon us due to the COVID-19 pandemic. A few times now, I've unconsciously walked past temple interior, seeing and yet not seeing it, in a suddenly turning visible exhibition. Now, my attention is arrested, and I am amazed at how appropriate this work is as a reference to the times we are currently in. My response to this work is a poem I wrote, titled Braving Stillness. Oh stillness, how I rebel! Can you not confine me? How long do I need to pause? How I long to return to a life of vibrancy and physical connectivity. What has life become to keep me separated from my love? This space, this room, this time, I cannot fathom. Yet, I have to endure, persevere, adapt, and make sense. Humor me, comfort me, inspire me in this space and time of strangeness. Do you not hear my cry, my fear, my confusion, my discomfort? And the sun still rises and sets. The moon shines, flowers bloom, and birds continue to sing. Magnificent beauty can be found if we turn our eyes and see. This world is alive and well, hoping, dreaming, planning, working, learning, loving. Tomorrow is another day, another hope, another opportunity to change. My love, we shall meet again, and stillness will soon be missed.
Thank you for watching Art Plus Live, an Ekphrastice series. You can share your own creative writing responses with the hashtag #GalleryAnywhere. My name is Cheyenne Alexandria Phillips. You can find me on my Facebook page or on Instagram as @ThePoeticScientist. Thank you and take care.